How's it, everybody? And a warm welcome to the NFT show. I'm your host, Philip Kalinko, and tonight we are going to be talking about all things blue chip. We're going to be talking about the Otherside drop. We're going to be talking about Clone X, RTKFT, and all those good things. How's it, Owen? Welcome to the show. We got Ran here as well. Welcome, guys. Yeah, I'm going to do it a bit differently today. Don't want it to be a monologue. Let's chat, but let's go through a couple of things here. So we're looking at OpenSea volume, the highest volume in history on the day of the Otherside drop, 476 million US dollars in one day on OpenSea. Then the next day we had 296 million. And the day after, today so far, 123 million. So we're looking here, I would say like 80% of this is Otherdeed by Otherside. We got Roman here. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Cool. So yeah, good volume, but we got to remember most of that is happening with Otherdeed, the Yuga Labs drop, which we're going to talk about. Ethereum is all over the place. It was as low as 2750 a few hours ago, jumping up and down. It really has recovered nicely, as has ApeCoin. But again, it's changing all the time. So don't get used to seeing anything. No one knows what it's going to do in the short term. Long term, I'm still very, very bullish on Ethereum. Gaz, my brother, how are you? Welcome. All right, what else we got here? OpenSea, trending collections in the last 24 hours. Just going to make this a little bit bigger for you guys. All right, so leading the board still is Otherdeed. Volume is tapering off. Floor price is quite low, 3.6. If we consider that they minted for about 2.5 Ethereum in ApeCoin, depending on when you bought your ApeCoin, and gas was at least 1.5 to 2 ETH. If you minted 2, you could have gotten away maybe with 2.5 to 3 Ethereum for 2. So this is close to mint price, to be pretty honest, and in my opinion is a great entry point. Not financial advice, but really and truly don't fade Yuga Labs. They might be quiet for a little bit now, and this might go down a little bit more, but the second they make any announcement, this is going to pop to 7 straight away. So if you've got a couple of weeks, this is a good entry point. We look at Bored Ape Yacht Club. We recovered a bit, 116 Ethereum. We saw Elon Musk, our good friend Elon Musk, tweeting or changing his profile picture today to a Bored Ape. And we've seen a little pump across the ecosystem. Got muted apes. I saw them as low as 24. Also recovered slightly to 26.69. Murakami flowers and Murakami flower seeds sitting at 5.3 and 7.5. To be quite honest, guys, I don't know what people are seeing in these things. I honestly don't know. I respect the artist so much, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Come on. I don't know. Alrighty. We've got 2 Solana projects here in the top 10, which is incredible at 6 and 7. OK Bears, which we've seen doing really, really well. As we've heard many times before with many collections, the Solana Bored Apes or the next Bored Apes, that's a bit premature. Let's wait and see. But yeah, interesting project for sure. And then we've got Communi 3 Mad Scientists, also on Solana, featuring in the top 6 and 7 of daily volume on OpenSea. Got the Something token, which has come back quite a lot, was pumping yesterday. Clone X has increased a bit. We're going to go deep into the Nike ecosystem tonight. Sitting nicely. They were about 16.5 2 days ago. So that's really, really good. We got these ENS names, which are doing incredibly, incredibly well. Azuki also recovered nicely from the Otherdeed pullback that we saw in every other project while people try to get liquid. They're sitting at 28.4, which is really decent. Their beans collection, which everyone's like, what is the beans? And it turns out the beans are beans. And guys are like, no, like what's inside the beans? No, they're beans. Let's see if they've revealed yet. It doesn't look like they've revealed, unless this is their reveal. I don't know, but literally they're beans. But again, it's just a PFP that's entering you into the Azuki ecosystem, so it doesn't really matter what they look like. But yeah, I saw quite a lot of funny Twitter conversations on them. We got Moonbirds also recovered quite nicely, just under 30 Ethereum, Allo Community, a new project, and CryptoPunks. So that's our 15-day movers. Sorry, our 15 top movers for the last 24 hours on OpenSea. Then let's get straight into it. Otherdeed by Otherside. Oh, guys. So, I'll tell you my personal experience. We'll start with that. And first of all, I think let me start by saying that I've made a lot of money off the Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem. I think they are the OGs. That hasn't changed. I think they know what they're doing in the space, and I respect them immensely. And I think they deliver more value than any other project. And I think no one can deny that. Because I think so highly of them, I was really expecting a gas optimized experience. And this drop was anything but. Really, I was shocked because, first of all, they only had about 50 or 60,000 KYC wallets. They had 55,000 that they were doing at the drop. The other 15,000 were minted by the team. So it started on 15,000, and they give you that full 15,000 distribution on their website. We'll find it. Then you had 19,000 by mutants and 10,000 by Bored Apes. So you had a drop of 55,000 available, and you had about 50,000 registered wallets, but only about 65, 70,000 of those had enough ApeCoin for both mints. And, it's not like millions of people could have gotten in, only if you KYC'd. So I had about 1 ETH in my wallet for gas. I thought that was more than enough. I had my ApeCoin ready. And unfortunately, the gas that I had was not enough. The transaction sat there for 4 hours and then failed. I did speed it up, and I couldn't speed it up again, because once you speed it up once, you can't speed it up a second time. So I actually wasn't able to mint, which I was really disappointed at. I have since picked up off the floor, but obviously at this price, you're not getting the rares. You're getting a revealed NFT, which is why we've seen this temporary dip. And I really do believe that this dip is temporary. But yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked that it wasn't more optimized. They literally broke the Ethereum network. And their tweet, they came out, they said, "Oh, so sorry, we broke Ethereum. We must develop our own ApeCoin chain." And everyone, has spoken about that and how it just felt like they didn't understand. They have refunded the gas for people whose transactions failed. I did get my gas refunded, but I still bought into ApeCoin at over $20. And when I sold out after the drop, it was like $16.5, $17. So I lost there. And yeah, I don't want to say that I'm bitter, because, as I say, I've profited off this ecosystem hugely, and I respect them hugely. But because of that, I expected more. I didn't expect them not to have an optimized contract. They have the ability to do that. There's entry-level collections. They had optimized their contracts to a point that you pay, $15 in gas. Okay, this was hyped, so 10 times that, $150, $1,500. But to make you pay $6,000-7,000 in gas. And my concern with that is that there's over $100 million in gas that has gone out of the ecosystem, disappeared, because it's gas, it's burnt, it's gone. And I do think that this could possibly lead us into a bear market. And yeah, I don't know how long that bear market will be, but I do think that a lot of it has to do with the gas side of this. Also, to have this amount of Ethereum traded in a few days is just unheard of. This is breaking every record. It's like, the most in one day on OpenSea, the most minted. They made over $500 million on this mint. It's incredible. So now they've got a lot of money to play with. They also raised $450 million. So they've prior to this from venture capitalists, they've got $1 billion that they're sitting on. So I really hope that this Otherdeed is incredible, and I'm sure they will keep rewarding holders. So let's dive into the OpenSea first, just to show you guys a couple of things. I then want to dive into their website to show you a couple more things. I then want to dive into Trade Sniper to show you guys a couple more things of what you need to be looking at. A lot of it is speculation, because at the moment, our good friends at Yuga have not released a lot of information, and we're all buying blind because of how well they've done in the past. But if you go on the side on OpenSea, you'll see there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. So you got, does it have an artifact or not? And you can search according to that. And then you've got per artifact. What artifact does it have? Now, everyone's busy looking for coders, and we'll talk about coders after this. But there's got to be value, in my opinion, to these artifacts, especially these rarer ones. And they have said that these are dynamic NFTs, which means that you can take things off and put things on. So, we will find out more, but knowing Yuga Labs, there is value to these artifacts that I think people are discounting. And as such, I think that there are some opportunities to try and snipe here. So you can search by artifact, yes or no, and you can see just in general, one artifact or more, what is the floor? Let's just change this to buy now. What is the floor of one with an artifact? 4.19, right? Whereas the floor for one without an artifact is 3.6. Now, some of these will have multiple artifacts. Let's just go into this first one just to show you how they've laid it out. So you got, every land has got a level here, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. That's what this dot refers to. So this is a level 1 land, okay? Let's make it bigger for you. Then you've got here, this one does have an artifact. The artifact is a glass eye, which you can see there. And again, you can see it's not attached to the land. So this will have some gameplay going forward, in my opinion. Does this one have a coder? No. So if it does have a coder, it would say yes with the coder number. And northern resources, western resources, eastern resources, and southern resources. So this one has got a western resource called spikeweed. Now, we don't know what the resources do or mean or anything. Everything is speculation. So that's your basic understanding of the image that you see. Infinite expanse is they call it the, let's go back, the sediment, okay? You can see that's the most common one, infinite expanse. There's 25,000 of those. Then you get cosmic dream, rainbow atmos, there's 22,000. Chemical goo, which is the mutant's land, the mutant ape yacht club. There's still a few to be claimed, about 1,500. That will go to 19,000. And then you've got the biogenic swamp, which is the bored ape land. Now, if we jump onto their website and you click on explore, so it's just otherside.xyz, and you click on explore, what you can see here is their world, okay? Now, it's really, really pretty cool. I mean, the way that they've done this. So you can zoom in, just to stay zoomed out. The center here is the bored ape land. Then as you move out, you've got the mutant ape land, and then the outer sentiments that we saw, the other three. So the most valuable is the bored ape land, and then the mutant, and then further and further, right? So if we zoom in here, okay, let's just click to zoom in quicker. It doesn't like that I'm streaming and doing this at the same time. I'm sorry if it's a bit choppy. All right, so here you can see each of these dots represents a land, one of the lands, and each of them has got a number. So if you click on one of these dots, this will be the bored ape land. Okay, my computer is really, really not handling this so well, guys. If you click on it, it's going to open the land on the side here, but let me close this because it's not enjoying it. So let's just do this. Let's close and go out of there. Okay, you guys still with me? Wasn't enjoying that at all. All right, I think I'm back. Okay, great. All right, so what I've been doing is I've been keeping an eye on the biogenic swamp, which is the Bored Ape land. So if you sort here, let's remove the artifact sorting. And all we're looking now is what's for sale in the Bored Ape land. And here you can see that the floor price for Bored Ape land is just over 10 Ethereum. Just want to show you what a Bored Ape land looks like. It's got this blue underneath it. And over here, it says biogenic swamp, which is what they call it. And then if we look at the mutant, the chemical goo. So I have seen a few guys making a mistake and thinking all the gooey ones are chemical goo. That is not the case, and you've got to just be careful. Let me show you chemical goo, which is the mutant land. Looks like any other land, but it's got this green goo at the bottom of it. Okay, so you do get some with the green goo at the top and the green goo at the bottom, but it must say chemical goo. Otherwise, you are not buying a mutant land. And I have had some people telling me that they have messed up with that. So I'll show you one that is one, but that looks like that could not be. So what makes this particular NFT the mutant land is not the green sludge on the top, it's the green sludge on the bottom. Okay, so be careful. The ones that have green sludge here do not mean that they are the chemical goo ones. All right, so just be aware of that. All right. So let's see what we got here. Can you buy the artifacts separately? At this point, we don't know whether you can or not. At this point, no. We're going to talk about the coders now. Even the coders at this point are not separate. There's 10,000 coders out of 100,000, and they are on the land currently. Everyone is speculating that you will be airdropped your coder at some stage as a separate NFT, but no one knows at this point. But remember they refer to these as dynamic NFTs, which means that you might be able to remove it yourself, sort of like Doodles with their spaceship. So you might be able to remove your coder yourself. Let's actually look at coders quickly because that's also important. Okay, so we've looked at sediment and we've touched on artifacts that we don't know exactly what they are, but we do believe that they will have some value going forward. Then if we look at coder, so we say it must have a coder, you can see there's still 325 still out there because there's still some Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club holders that have not minted. So let's take sentiment away and we say, does it have a coder? Yes, it does. And then we'll see the floor price on any land with a coder currently is 23 Ethereum versus a 3.6 Ethereum, which is what it would be if there wasn't a coder on it. AP, you late. Got to go to the corner. Okay. Nabula from South Africa. I'm gonna get onto RTKFT after this. Promise you, we're gonna talk about it in detail, for sure. Okay. So what have we got going on here? We got our coder, and what does it look like when it's got a coder? Here is your coder. Now, all coders are not created equal. We do know coder 9,900 to coder 10,000 are more rare. And even aside from that, there are coders that are rarer than others, right? And you can search by coder attribute as well. So that's the basic ecosystem. At this point, we don't know much about the artifacts, and we don't understand how the coders are going to operate. Because of the video that Bored Ape Yacht Club did with the coder transporting the apes to and from different lands, there is speculation that they will be your transport system. So if you want to move from my land to your land or whatever, you will need a coder to do so. Again, everything is speculation. You know, Bored Ape Yacht Club has not given much detail, and they updated their website like a few minutes before mint, which I thought was really not the way to do it. Okay, we still got this acting up a bit. Let's do this. I'm going to close this window. I'm going to open a new one here, which should hopefully reset it. I mean, even their website drains your resources. It's crazy. Okay, so let's have a look here at what they've said about it. And that's if you want to be part of their testing. Frequently asked questions. I want to go to the world here. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so you can see we've set out to build the other side with one thing in mind. The metaverse should be anything but boring. The world should be dynamic, steeped in narrative, and your actions should hold consequences. Step into the other side where the normal rules do not apply. Where you end up is where you end up, where you go is where you go. So I think it's important just to say that this is the biggest project in the spaces by far, entry into the metaverse and entry into gaming. I do think that there will be other opportunities to pick up this land on OpenSea at a similar price to where it is at the moment, because I can't imagine that they probably need 6 months to a year to develop this game fully, even with the resources that they have. It says the other side is part of a galaxy and part archipelago, with islands extending from the biogenic swamp, which we saw as the Bored Ape land at the center, and rolling outwards to the infinite expanse. There are 5 settlements, which we spoke about. Your other deed is the key to a unique blend of environment, sediment, and treasures, some with resources, some home to powerful artifacts, and a very few coders. Okay, meeting the coders. There you see the artwork. The natural materials. Every piece of land on the other side nurtures up to 4 replenishing resources, right? So it makes it seem like they will replenish, that you will be able to harvest and utilize. Anime, ore, shard, and root. Some are rare, some less so. There are also raw materials that will help you shape the world. Treasures and tools. Scattered throughout the lands of Otherside are rare objects, some of which cannot be crafted by any other means. These are the artifacts. If you find an artifact, know that it may hold secrets to this world as it expands. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. And here it talks about dynamic NFTs, being that every other deed is a dynamic NFT built as a collection of all its elements, from resources to coders. So it's a collection of different elements, meaning that, to me, that all of the separate elements can be removed and then put back, rather than a static representation of a piece of your land. Your other deed is designed to evolve along with what you choose to do in the game. And then we spoke about this, the way that it's laid out. Shape the future. Your other deed is the key to helping build the metaverse. Landowners are creators and can participate in that program. And that's all it says. That's really pretty much it. And that came out like a few minutes before mint. So, most people just minted and then are trying to figure it all out. And if we go to their Twitter, we can see here they're saying that they've refunded people, lots of followers, lots of interesting stuff. So the one thing that I've been doing is I've been using Trait Sniper, and actually Trait Sniper launched a project. So this is Trait Sniper, and it's really good for people who are looking to snipe rares or traits. So if we click on other deeds, I'll show you here, it's pretty cool. It does take a second to load. So what I've been doing, okay, so here's all the listings. Then if you go here to trait floor and you select highest number of traits, it's going to sort it by the cheapest ones with the highest numbers of traits. You can even click here on traits and choose, where's it? And choose how many traits you wanted to have, right? Trait count. So here you can see, yeah, there were much cheaper ones. 14 traits is 23 ETH, 15 traits is 23.39, 13. So yeah, so yesterday there were 14 traits at 5 Ethereum. That means it's got 14 different elements on it, or 14 different traits to it, which is obviously going to have more resources and be more valuable. But that seems to have been like people have figured it out, and people are starting to search according to how many traits there are. But this is a great tool if you don't know it. Trait Sniper. You can see their partners, and they actually recently launched OpenSea Collection, which it's a really powerful tool, and I do think that this is a good entry point if you are into rares and sniping and things like that. All right, so to move on for Nebula, CloneX. Okay, so CloneX, everyone knows, into the metaverse, collection of 19,300 NFTs. It's actually 20,000, but 700 people still have their vials and haven't yet launched their NFT, for want of a better word. Now, if you bought into CloneX and you bought one of these, you currently would be sitting on the first airdrop, which was this guy here. Let me just reload it. I need to close there. Okay. So the first drop you got was your room, your pod. And then anyone who held a pod, regardless of whether you still had your CloneX or not, I think OpenSea is giving us trouble, got a loot pod, a second pod dropped to them. So what they've said, and Nebula, this is specifically going to answer your question. We are going to get to the boxes. They've said that you can enter their ecosystem at any stage and benefit from that point going forward. So no, you're not going to retrospectively get, this was the first pod over here, where you can put your own NFTs, and this was their first one. You can see the floor price is 1.7 Ethereum. This was their second one, which is actually an extension, but is also a standalone. And I did a whole video where I connected my two together, which you can see. They're currently, in my opinion, undervalued at 0.7. And then they dropped everyone, these guys here, this box. Right? And everyone held this box for a very long time. And you had to complete quests, of which I did none of them, but as long as the community were doing them. And they finally showed us what's in this box. And what we got was another box, okay, which is so cool. A pair of Nike Dunk Genesis sneakers, okay. So these ones here without bids have got the vial in them. So you also got a vial, and the vial has different degrees of rarity. This is all on the floor here, the most common. You insert this vial into your shoe on their website, and it makes your shoe look like that. So your one shoe can have many different designs depending on the vial that you insert into it. So if we have a look over here, all of these floor ones over here, sure we'll get to the next rarest. Okay, let's just go sort here. So there, you get to the next rarest one. The floor there is 0.96. So you've got 4,791 humans. That's these purpley blue ones. Then robots, 2,874. Demons, 832. Angels, 826. And reptiles, 116. Undead so far 66, because remember this is going to change, but this is a good breakdown of the percentages more or less. 51 of the ones that have currently been entered are Murakami, and then 14 are aliens. Now guys, aliens are sitting at over 150 Ethereum, okay, and selling, okay, because of their rarity. So I just want to take you back here so you can see here there's still a lot of people who haven't opened their box, me included. So about 50% of the people have opened their box, 50% have not. Why? Because you saw that the vials for CloneX are trading at about 12 ETH more, or almost double, than the CloneXs. So if we just say CloneX vial, just to show you my point, so the floor is 19, whereas the floor here on the vial is 28.69, because people like betting on that they might get a rare in that, right? Okay, so currently the box, in different market conditions, I think this would be more close to 10. I think it will get beyond that as more people claim. And then because everyone knows that it's going to be a long time before this box gets revealed, this box is currently sitting at a huge discount. So we know that Nike is taking the same approach as Bored Ape. So you minted a Bored Ape, you got a dog for free, Bored Ape Kennel Club. You then were able to mint a mutant for free. You then got the ApeCoin airdrop, and now you were able to mint land for free. If you owned your mutant, you could mint one land. If you owned your mutant and your Bored Ape, you could mint two lands, right? So Nike have specifically said that they are following the same approach, and it's clear because they've been out a lot less. I mean, Bored Ape Yacht Club's a year old. Clone X is half of that. So they've been out a lot less long. That's horrible English. Less longer than Bored Ape, but they've already dropped you 2 ETH airdrop, 1.75, 0.7 airdrop. This has gone as high as 1.2 ETH. A box that's worth 7.5 Ethereum if you keep it closed, or at the very least worth 3.5 Ethereum currently, plus the shoes, which was in the box for everyone, the blank shoes, 1.6. So that's 5 Ethereum, plus let's just say the least rare, so call it 0.7. So 6.5, 7 Ethereum. So we are seeing that this brand is following the Bored Ape Yacht Club way of giving back. They're not doing it as a selfless thing. They've turned over in secondary sales. They've made over $100 million from the NFT, endeavors. So I do think, and I'm seriously considering picking another one of these guys up. You can see here every collection drop, except for Bored Ape, dropped before the Bored Ape land sale. It went as low as 3.2 Ethereum. And now we're seeing, everyone thought the market would recover. Now today's not finished, but people are realizing that the market may be in a bear or start to get in a bear. But when it came out, it was over 5 ETH. So I do think, if you're able, let's just say you're sitting with 15 ETH that you want to invest, 3.5 Ethereum to put it there and park it there, this will be worth 6, 7 ETH quite easily. And we see that from this box being worth that, right? So my question to myself is, do I open this box or not, right? So I could, in effect, you got to assume that I always assume, and maybe I need to be a bit more of a gambler in this case, but I always assume that I'm going to get the common one. I've got a 50% chance of getting the common one. So I'm sitting with 0.7, 2.3, 5, 6 ETH. So effectively, I could buy one of each of these elements and then sell my box and make 1.5 Ethereum, assuming that I get a common. If it's not a common, then I should open it and maybe get 150 ETH NFT. So I'm not sure what to do, but for now, I haven't opened it. I am tempted to actually open it on air, but I don't think I'm going to do it today. I want to see where this price goes in normal conditions first. If this is 15 ETH, then, and these are only 7, 8 ETH together, this box, this, and that, then it's different. Then it's a 7 or 8 ETH benefit opposed to a 1.5 ETH benefit. So the risk now at 1.5 ETH different, I would rather open it and take that risk. But if the difference in this price was much more than the base elements, I would rather not take the risk. So not going to do it today, but we will do it at some stage. So if I was looking to enter this ecosystem, this is my best, at this point, this is my best point into the ecosystem, because I can get in here, but it's 7.5 Ethereum. So I would rather, if I did want to spend 7.5, I'd rather buy this, a base vial, and a base shoe, right? All the shoes are base shoes until you insert a vial. So I'd get a shoe, I'd get the base vial, I'd get one of these, I'd be in for about 6 ETH, and I would be up to where everyone who only held this box is up to. And then, because this is a box, we do know there's something special inside the box that will let you be in the ecosystem from this point forward. And again, I do think that this entry is a very, very decent entry price for this. I mean, this is Nike. Their reputation stands on this. They have shown that they are committed to building this brand. And yeah, I'm very bullish on this, not financial advice. So I see some things here. Nabula, let's start with you. You were first. Nabula, you probably do not. I'm just thinking. You don't get this because this was an airdrop. It wasn't minted, it was an airdrop. You don't get this because all of it was an airdrop. I don't think you'll get it. The interesting question, the very interesting question, is if you buy a Clone X vial now, will you, once you open it, get airdropped all the elements? And I don't know the answer to that. But if you buy a Clone X now, no, because that Clone X has already been dropped all of the things that it got. So you won't get it. It's not like a claim where you can check whether it's been claimed or not. Yeah, so that answers your question. Elwin, open it. Elwin. Yeah, easy to say when it's not your box. Let's see. Nabula, also, open it. What do you think, guys? Well, I can tell you a few things. First of all, my box is on my ledger and not on my hot wallet, and I do not have my ledger device here. It's downstairs, so it's not possible to do it now unless I run downstairs and leave you guys, in which case it will just be the two of you left. Yeah, so I'm not going to do it now. It's yeah, I mean, I could get it in 2 minutes, but I'm not going to. I'm tempted, not because of your comments. I have been tempted because, you know, I always take the less risky approach. And because in the beginning I used to hold until after reveal every project thinking I was going to get a rare, and I never got any rares ever. So now I just assume I'm not going to get a rare, and I sell pre-reveal. If I like the project, I'll buy back in after reveal at a third of the price, right? So that's how I've been playing it since my early days where I was optimistic. And so I just automatically assume that I've got a general in this box, a baseline vial. That's my automatic assumption. Don't know if I'm right, don't know if I'm wrong. Gaz, I swear to you, it's downstairs. I promise you. I can't get this bar. I can't open it. If I go to their website now, it's going to ask me to open it. I need to connect to my ledger. So it's not an excuse, but I do want to do it. I just don't know. Not sure. That's why I need a ledger. It will make me think before I sell something. You're right. So I had an NFT. I'm not going to tell you the name. Really like the community. They've got a Genesis collection of a couple of hundred, and I've had it on my ledger the whole time. They recently had a drop, but you had to move your Genesis into the same wallet as the sub collections in order to get the benefit of being a Genesis holder and a sub collection holder. So I moved it in there for the mint. I minted. Once it was in there, I just sold it, right? Whereas I was happy to hold it forever. I love the community, but it's right there, and boom, there was an offer, and I sold it. So you're right; it is a good thing. Is a good thing to do. What else I want to show you quickly? Talking about clothing brands. So let's just say, 3.5 ETH is a lot of money. Oh, sorry. We all know that 3.5 ETH is a lot of money, and it's really unreachable for a lot of people, especially because we know it's a bit of a long-term play. We do know that they're going to take months and months before they open it. Yes, in between then, I do see it going up to 4, 5, then dipping up and down as they hinted news or whatever. They typically drop little teasers of it slowly opening. So you might be able to get up, but the play here is long-term. You want to play it until the drop comes, in which case you 2x in, let's say, 2 months. That's pretty much what you're looking at. So you literally make 3.5 Ethereum in 2 months. I mean, not financial advice, but that's the situation. So I wouldn't do that if I only had 3.5 ETH, because then you don't have the liquidity to mint 1 or 2 mints that might be good and flip. So another entry that's I'm really bullish on, even in the current market, is Adidas. Why? Because they're Adidas, right? There's this rivalry between Nike and Adidas that we all know about in marketing in the real world. They want to one up each other. This one wants to be the first. This one wants to be the first. So we know that Adidas has got to be watching Clone X very, very, very carefully. They know that they were second to the space, and they know that they're well behind, because their first drop was just this one, where you could get some merch. And now finally they've come to the stage where you claim your merch. In claiming your merch, you burn your phase 1 and you get a phase 2. And the phase 2 is going to be a unique avatar like Clone X. So Adidas is theoretically 6 months behind Clone X at the moment, because Clone X had an avatar 6 months ago. But there's what you're pretty much going to get. They play into the metaverse, and then they're going to start doing like Nike in their own way, where they're going to try and bring value. Because if you're looking at this as a case study and you say, okay, who are the OGs in the space? It's Bored Ape Yacht Club. Everyone knows that. Well, what did this Bored Ape Yacht Club do in order to become the OGs in the space? They just gave their holders value and made their holders not want to ever sell. That's what they did. And they keep you looking forward to the next drop, the next event. So we've seen Clone X adopt the same idea. And now we know, well, we don't know for sure, but we know that Adidas is watching and is going to take a similar approach. And at the moment, you can get either the phase 1 pass, where all you get extra is a tracksuit, a beanie, a tracksuit, a hat, and I think a hoodie. There's your tracksuit. So I wouldn't buy this, because, I mean, I guess the difference now is so small, but this was actually sitting at about 1.7 and this one 1.4. For that amount, I wouldn't get this. Maybe there's merit if you like, the merch, to get the merch there. But either way, this is now your ticket into the metaverse with Adidas, their phase 2. And, they've got some notable guys on board. They really are keen to get going on this. So here you see it, the phase 2. And I do think at 1.38 ETH, you cannot go wrong. At the moment, we have seen the market is changing. We've got big players coming in. And, I'm skeptical about investing in anything that's not well established. You don't get more established than Nike, Adidas, and Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is why I wanted to discuss these 3 projects and the different ways you can get in. So Bored Ape Yacht Club at the moment, the cheapest entry is actually the Otherdeed. That's their cheapest entry. Meebits is sitting at about 7 ETH at the moment. The Kennel Club's almost at 10 ETH. So your cheapest entry, if you want to get into the Bored Ape Yacht Club, is the Otherside Land, the Otherdeed by Otherside Land at the moment. And I don't think long term it's going to stay under 4 ETH. I really don't. If you want to get into the RTKFT ecosystem, your cheapest entry is actually the shoes or the vial, but we don't know that they're going to drop more to shoe holders than vial holders. We do know that they're going to drop more to box 2 holders. So that I would get in here. And if that's out of your budget and out of your price range, Adidas phase 2 is the next entry point into one of these huge companies that are primed to really grow. I mean, if these guys start, drop their avatars are amazing, hint at further drops and really push, this will go to 15 ETH, Clone X level. Maybe not 20 ETH like Clone X, because they're the second to the space. And, depending on who you are, I believe Nike is, I must look at their market cap, but I believe Nike is bigger than Adidas, but definitely over 10 ETH if they play their cards right, and they are motivated to play their cards right. There's everything to play for. Reputation, whatever, ego, Adidas versus Nike. So that is what I would be looking at currently. Obviously, we've got World of Women as well, which is, in my opinion, as blue chip as you get. If that's too big, you can get into the World of Women Galaxy, which is currently sitting under 1 Ethereum, which if World of Women goes back to 15 ETH from the 6 ETH that it's sitting at, you can be sure that the World of Women Galaxy will 2x as well. So yeah, I would focus at this point. Advice, I was talking to my Discord last night. At this particular point of the market, we need to see whether we're going into a bear or not. It's hard to tell at the moment because the numbers are showing huge numbers, but we do know that 240,000 Ethereum of the volume has gone to the Otherdeed. Just want to make sure I got that number right. 214,000 Ethereum in the last 4 days has gone to the Otherdeed. So the vast majority of the OpenSea volume that we're looking at the moment is Otherdeed. Once that settles, What is going to be the market? No one knows. What we are seeing is some blue chips are doing quite well. So Doodles is pumping because they're hinting at the second drop and whatever, right, which people have been waiting for. But you look at it, the blue chips are going sort of up or sideways. The mid-tier and the low tier are going down. So usually they go sideways and then up. So I do believe that we headed into a bit of a bear market. I don't know the extent of it. We've got the US warning about recession, that one more quarter of negative growth. They thought there would be 1.1% positive. For this last quarter, they actually reported -1. So one more quarter, and theoretically, they are in a recession. How long that's going to be, we don't know. If next quarter they're negative, we don't know. But all the signs are that we've hit that cross where they will go into recession. We know crypto doesn't act great initially in recessions. It's already risky, tends to be huge pullback. And then as people feel a bit comfortable, maybe recovers to some point. So we're at a risky point currently. NFTs are even more risky and less liquid than crypto, right? And blue chip NFTs are the best of NFTs, but non-blue chip NFTs or non-proven NFTs are the riskiest of NFTs, which is the riskiest of crypto, which is the riskiest anyway, crypto, compared to gold, stocks, hard currency, cash, whatever, right? Property. So I'm saying at this point, me personally, I'm not interested in anything that is high risk in an already high risk environment. So if I see a mint that's doing well and I've got whitelist and I can mint at 0.1 and sitting at 0.3, sure, I'm going to mint, I'm going to sell it at 0.3 and I'm going to move on. I do not want to be investing in pipe dreams of these projects that have two founders that both have full-time jobs and really mean the best, but when they're coming up against CloneX, Adidas, all these real companies that are pushing hard. So my investments are in these blue chips at the moment. I'm saying things I'm looking to invest. I'm not looking to buy into other things on the secondary market, and I would highly suggest the same. And if you feel, if that resonates with you, the 4 projects that I've spoken about tonight are really, really the ones that I'm looking at very closely. So where I already own one, I'm looking to pick up another. If I, whatever, I'm eyeing them closely. That's what I want to get into at this point, nothing else. Let's take a look at comments over here. Gaz laughing. It's delayed. He was laughing a while ago, about 10 minutes ago. So if I buy a mint file now, I get a random CloneX. Yes, which could be a Murakami drip. So let's just show you what those are sitting at. It's the same as the vials in theory. You're rolling the dice. Let me share my screen. I always shared this one by mistake. I knew I was going to do that. All right, so let's just have a look here and answer this question. Okay, let's make it a bit less big. I feel like I can't. Okay, CloneX mint file. So you're paying 10 Ethereum extra than you would be if you just got a normal. I think I closed that one. Let's just pull it up again. Then if you got a normal CloneX, paying 10 ETH. Why? Because there's a chance that you'll get a Murakami drip. So here, obviously the floor ones that we're looking at here at 18 point whatever. Oh, it's dropped to 18. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4 until a 19 ETH floor. This one's quite sick. Looks like a pink hair version of mine. All right, so let's just go over here. So just like the vials, you've got these different rarities in every CloneX. Human, which is most of them, but if we click on robot now, the floor for robots, so 50% are human, 25% are robots. Okay, I guess mine's a robot also. They seem to be at floor. Angels, let's give it a chance just to update. Angels are sitting at a 22.49, and they've just got this thing on their head, right? And they're pretty rare. There's only 1,600, so it's about 10%. Demon is the same rarity, so we would imagine to see a 22 ETH floor. Here you can see this guy wants to sell his demon, so the floor is actually, quite good on that, 20 ETH compared to where it should be. Reptile, which is getting much rarer. There's only 240 so far, but most of them have been minted. And there the floor is 38 ETH, and they're these green guys. Then Undead, So it's the same as the vowels that we were looking at, the percentages and the names. Undead are these guys over here, and you can see the floor there is 65. This one last sold at 64. So there is stuff happening. Then you get your Murakami drips. There's only 100, of which 96 have been minted. So you've got like there's 4 left. These are sitting at 160 Ethereum, which is quite a, and then the alien, remember the alien vials were sitting at 150. So the alien here is sitting at 250 ETH floor. I wonder if there's been sales here. I mean, it's easy to say because I'm not seeing previous. Well, this one has an offer for 100 Ethereum, an offer for 80. This one last sold at 199. I do think you might have to let it sit there for a while. This one last sold at 150. Okay, so not easy to know, whether this is attainable, but you'll get at least 150 for it. So that's why you would buy Vial, if you're a gambler and you believe that that this Vial that you buy has got one of these rare traits in it. So that's why you would do that, Nabula. Got bigger balls than me if you do that, because I'm assuming I'm getting a human. Okay, elbow cough. No idea what that means. I think you were trying to do an emoji. I don't know what an elbow cough looks like as an emoji. Let's have a look here. So when you open the first MNO box, I get sneakers and a random skin vial. Yes, and another box. So you get 3 items in it. You get this box inside that silver box. So let's just make this very clear. This is MNLTH2. This box cannot be opened at this point. We don't know what's inside of it. So let's just clear that up, okay? But this box here, the MNLTH without the 2, is their first box drop that they did. This one, if you buy it here at 7.5 Ethereum, as you open it, you will get the shoes, a vial with a rarity that we don't know, and this box over here. So that's the difference. If you buy this box, you get this box plus the shoes, the blank shoes, plus a random vial, either rare or not. The shoes are all the same. There's no rarity to the shoes. These guys have just put their vial in their shoe, and that's what you're seeing over there. But you could buy, in theory, you could buy multiple vials and have different designs of shoes. And I'm sure they're going to be dropping more vials. If I had to guess, and no one knows at this point, I would assume that there's a couple of vials in here, not just one, a couple of vials in here, different vials, because I do imagine that Nike wants to build out their range like they do in real life. And at the moment, they've only got 8 designs released. And if you actually jump onto their website, these are virtual, so you can wear them in the metaverse. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. You can wear them in the metaverse, but you can also do them with augmented reality. I think this is to claim it. It's going to ask me to connect. I don't think it's the site I wanted. Hold on. Yeah, this is what I want to show you. So there, you see, guys, there's your sneakers with your vial inside of it at the top. And you can wear them, like there's his vial in it. And that's the common one, the human one. This is a Murakami drip. I don't know. That's a different sneaker. That's the Ferocious. The artist Ferocious. That's a different sneaker. Not a Nike, but maybe a Nike. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Pharaoh sneakers. But this is what we're looking at here. And then that's Stapleverse, the pigeon. Also done in collab with Clone X. What do you use to check the rarity in projects? Okay, so as we said, Trait Sniper is really, really good. What I use here, this little thing that's not coming up. What is this called? ERC Sniper. ERC Sniper is what I use. Then if you log in over here, it's just asking me to connect. If you log in over here and refresh this page, well, I don't know if this collection has got a percentage rarity. Let's just see. you'll see a box comes here. Let's just go to Clone X. So Control F5. All of these will be rare because these are aliens. Just going to wait for it. There you can see the rarity pops up. So I've actually got two tools. Rarity ranks I'm using, which is the one above there. Rarity ranks. Yeah, rarity ranks is this one. And then you've got the ERC sniper is that one there giving the percentages. It is good sometimes to have two so that you can just make sure that it's like constant across both of them, which these are. So yeah, that's what I use. All right, guys, that seems to be all the questions. If anyone's got anything else, you can just ask in the comments and I'll answer. Otherwise, we're going to end it. And we will see you on Friday for Freestyle Friday with Morland and I. If you haven't already, please like. Really helps, especially on a live video. If you click that little thumbs up now, if you liked it, do a thumbs up. That really helps me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Come into our Discord. We've got a great community, some giveaways every so often. Doesn't cost anything. Yeah, guys. So thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Keep well, keep safe, look after each other. Thank you. Ciao.